Imagine that your blood, the very fluid meant to sustain your life, turns into a weapon against you. Imagine that instead of flowing like water, your red blood cells harden into microscopic shards of broken glass. They don't just flow, they scrape, they claw, they pile up in the narrow corridors of your veins until the traffic stops completely. The pressure builds. The oxygen is cut off. Your bones feel like they are being crushed by a hydraulic press from the inside out. This isn't a torture method from a history book. This is a Tuesday afternoon for Olivia. But the physical agony is only half the battle. Imagine screaming for help, your body contorted in level 10 pain, only to look up and see a doctor checking his watch, to see a nurse roll her eyes, to hear the whisper behind the curtain that cuts deeper than the disease itself. She's back again. She's just looking for a fix. For those living with sickle cell disease, the fight for survival is fought on two fronts: against the rebellion of their own biology and against a world that refuses to believe their pain is real. This is the story of how that battle nearly cost Olivia her life, not because of the disease, but because of a dangerous promise of a cure that was too good to be true. To the casual observer, Olivia is the picture of resilience. She is 32 years old, a graphic designer, a sister, a friend. She walks through the world with a practiced grace. But this presentation is a carefully constructed armor. Beneath the surface, a genetic mutation is constantly at work, rewriting the script of her physiology. Sickle cell disease is an inherited blood disorder. It causes red blood cells to lose their round, flexible shape and become rigid and sticky, resembling a farm tool called a sickle. These malformed cells die early, leaving the body in a constant state of anemia. But the true terror lies in the vaso-occlusive crisis. Olivia calls it the fire. It strikes without warning. One moment she is laughing at dinner. The next, she is in a fetal position, unable to speak. It is a lifelong sentence of unpredictability. And because she looks fine on the outside, her suffering is invisible. Today, we are peeling back the layers of that invisibility. We are documenting Olivia's journey through the trauma of medical skepticism, the seduction of faith healing, and the hard-won wisdom of finding a middle path. Olivia's childhood was defined by the word no. No running, no swimming in cold water, no high altitudes. While other children scraped their knees and forgot about it 5 minutes later, Olivia was learning the complex vocabulary of hematology. She learned that her body was a ticking clock, and she was the only one who could hear the countdown. Pain, for most human beings, is a signal that something is wrong, a temporary state until healing occurs. For a sickle cell warrior, pain is a baseline. It is a constant, low-level hum of static that occasionally screams. Olivia describes growing up with the feeling that she was living with a traitor. She loved her body, but her body did not seem to love her back. There is a profound loneliness in pediatric illness. Olivia missed birthdays. She missed field trips. She spent weeks in sterile rooms where the only entertainment was the rhythmic beeping of an 4 pump. But in those pediatric wards, she was at least treated with compassion. Doctors saw a suffering child. Nurses offered popsicles and warm blankets. But as she aged out of pediatric care, the atmosphere shifted. The transition to adult health care is a cliff that many sickle cell patients fall off. The teddy bears and colorful murals disappeared, replaced by harsh fluorescent lights and armed security guards. The compassion evaporated, replaced by suspicion. The poor child became the drug-seeking adult, and the invisible war became a battle for her dignity. The emergency room is a place of salvation for most, but for Olivia, it is a courtroom where she is guilty until proven innocent. Let's examine a specific night in November that changed everything. The pain in her lower back and chest was so severe she couldn't walk. Her oxygen levels were dropping. She was in the throes of a major crisis. The attending physician didn't check her hematology history immediately. He didn't look at the port in her chest that proved her condition. He looked at the clock. He looked at her race. And he made a snap judgment. He told her, "We can't just give you narcotics every time you have a backache, Olivia. You need to manage this at home. This is the unique psychological torture of the sickle cell patient, having to advocate for your life while feeling like you are dying. Olivia had to suppress the urge to scream. She knew that if she raised her voice, if she showed anger, she would be labeled aggressive. She would be escorted out by security. So she had to be polite. She had to recite her dosage and her hematologist's phone number with a calm she didn't feel. Eventually, she got the treatment, but the damage was done. It wasn't just the physical delay, it was the spiritual erosion. This is the sickle cell tax. You pay with your body, but you also pay with your self-worth. After 10 years of fighting doctors to do their jobs, Olivia was exhausted. She was hollowed out. And that hollowness made her the perfect target for a different kind of savior. Enter Desmond. He was a charismatic community leader, a man who spoke with the absolute conviction of a prophet. He met Olivia at a vulnerable moment, just weeks after that traumatic ER visit. He didn't ask for her insurance card. He didn't look at her with suspicion. He looked at her with pity and promise. Desmond offered a seductive narrative. He told Olivia that her suffering wasn't genetic bad luck, it was a spiritual blockage. He told her that her reliance on Western medicine was a crutch that was preventing her true healing. You are claiming the sickness, he told her. You need to claim the victory. To a rational mind, this sounds dangerous. But to a woman who had been gaslit by medical professionals for a decade, Desmond's confidence was intoxicating. It felt like empowerment. It felt like control. For the first time, someone was telling her she had the power to stop the pain simply by believing enough. So, she made the choice. She stopped the hydroxyurea. She stopped the daily pain management. She flushed the pills. For the first 3 days, she felt a euphoric high. The placebo effect is a powerful drug. She felt lighter, cleaner. She attended Desmond's meetings and testified that she was cured. She truly believed it. But biology is not swayed by affirmations. On the 4th day, the reality of her genetic code came crashing back. It didn't start as a hum, it started as an avalanche. The blood cells sickled en masse. They clogged the tiny vessels in her lungs. This wasn't just pain. This was acute chest syndrome, the leading cause of death for sickle cell patients. Desmond wasn't there when her oxygen saturation dropped below 80%. Desmond wasn't there when her lungs began to fill with fluid, creating the sensation of drowning on dry land. Olivia was rushed to the very hospital she hated, but this time, there was no skepticism. The doctors saw a woman in critical respiratory failure. She spent 6 days in the ICU. As the machines breathed for her, the illusion of the faith cure shattered. She realized, in the haze of recovery, that faith is powerful. It can move mountains, it can heal the spirit, but it cannot change the molecular structure of hemoglobin. The recovery was brutal, but the hardest part wasn't learning to walk again. It was forgiving herself. She had to forgive herself for being misled. She had to understand that taking medicine wasn't a failure of faith, it was an act of stewardship. It was a way of honoring the life she had been given. Olivia found her balance. She realized that science is the tool and survival is the miracle. She stopped listening to the voices that told her she had to choose between God and medicine. She chose both. Now, she advocates for that balance, warning others about the Desmonds of the world who prey on the desperate. Olivia's story is a manual for survival in a world that often refuses to listen. It is a reminder that we must listen to our bodies, question our doctors without rejecting science, and hold on to hope without letting go of reality. If you or someone you love is battling a chronic illness, know that you are not invisible. Your pain is real, and you deserve care that respects both your body and your spirit. Share this video to help spread awareness for sickle cell disease, and subscribe for more stories of resilience.